So today our group is going to introduce the case about marijuana advertising. And this is the agenda. First, let's introduce our case. The marijuana was legalized in Colorado and Washington. This sparked new opportunities and ethical concerns for the new industry. Despite Colorado and Washington classifying cannabis as legal, under federal law, cannabis is still illegal. So it is hard for sellers and advertisers to operate normally. The ethical problem is clear. Should marijuana retailers be allowed to be advertise drugs? Some argue that marijuana retailers have their rights to advertise. Opposers argue that advertisements can harm the society as negative effects are concerned, especially for minors. Marijuana is linked to negative effects such as memory loss and tendency toward depression. But at the same time, it has positive effects such as slowing Alzheimer's and reducing spread of cancer. The case introduces the conflict between federal law and state law, showing the gray area in business that need to be addressed. How do we balance business rights to advertise and protection for individuals from drugs? And the next is our ethical dilemma. The main ethical dilemma is should marijuana be advertised where it is legally sold? If we choose should be advertised, then the advantages are, in the short term, marijuana retailers would have the rights to advertise and earn more, which increase sales and job creation. In the long run, there would be more clarity and shift underground marijuana retailer into more transparent and controlled status. But the disadvantages are, in the short term, more people will be influenced by the advertisements, including potential minors. This normalizes usage and makes drugs seem easily accessible. In the long run, more people may have negative side effects and dependency on marijuana, and individuals might switch to stronger drugs, which is more dangerous. However, if we choose not to advertise, then the good side of marijuana will not be misportrayed by advertisements to be healthy or trendy, causing teens and vulnerable individuals to be attracted to it. In the long run, it encourages more education instead of first-hand involvement to learn that drug is unhealthy of the body. And the disadvantages are marijuana companies would be less inclined to creating product with brand accountability. And there are no advertisement competition to stand out and be better, leading to less quality marijuanas. Also, it stigmatizes real medical uses of marijuana as it is not normalized and illegal users might be discriminated.
Next is about the theories. When evaluating how marijuana advertising should be approached, four key ethical perspectives: utilitarianism, deontological reasoning, virtue ethics, and justice perspective can help us balance economic freedom with social good. First, utilitarianism focuses on outcomes. The ethical choice is the one that creates the greatest benefit for society. If responsible advertising supports economic growth, generates tax revenue, and helps consumers make informed choices, then it contributes to overall well-being. However, if it results in youth addiction, misinformation, or public health problems, then the social costs outweigh the gains, and the action becomes unethical. This perspective reminds businesses to evaluate not only profit, but also the long-term impact of their actions on society. Second is the deontological reasoning emphasizes duty and respect. Advertising should never manipulate or exploit people for financial gain. When marketing glamorizes risky behavior or targets minors, it violates moral responsibility, treating people as tools for profit rather than individuals deserving of respect. Under this view, ethical advertising requires honesty, transparency, and protection for vulnerable audiences. Third, virtue ethics focuses on moral character and integrity. A virtual company acts responsibly, communicating honestly, avoiding exaggeration, and show moderation in its messaging. Instead of promoting the high, it highlights product safety, testing, and responsible use. Virtue ethics encourages businesses to build long-term trust and reputation by aligning marketing practices with community values. Finally, the justice perspective reminds us that fairness must guide all business practices. Advertising might unintentionally affect minors or vulnerable groups, leading to unfair exposure. From a moral standpoint, all groups, especially the disadvantaged, deserve protection. According to John Rawls' theory of justice, inequality is only acceptable when it benefits everyone. Therefore, marijuana advertising should ensure equal consideration for all stakeholders and avoid actions that harm weaker or less informed audiences. In the end, ethical marijuana advertising isn't about choosing between profit and principle. It's about achieving both through fairness, integrity, and respect for society as a whole. Next is the recommendation. The legalization of marijuana in states like Colorado and Washington has created a legitimate business but also an ethical dilemma. On one hand, dispensaries have the right to compete and inform adult consumers. On the other, unregulated advertising risks normalizing drug use, especially among youth. My recommendation is to allow marijuana advertising under strict regulation, guided by ethical responsibility and social accountability. From an ethical and economic standpoint, legal businesses deserve a voice. Like alcohol or tobacco firms, marijuana retailers should be able to advertise, but with accountability. Banning ads entirely limits competition and consumer choice, while ethical advertising promotes transparency. That means campaigns must avoid glamorization or deception, focus on education, and restrict exposure to adults over 21. This balance respects both the right to profit and the duty to protect public health.
Well, then I'm going to talk about the implementations. To put this into practice, there are 3 key steps. First of all, target the medium placement. The advertisement should appear only where less than 30% of the audience is under 21, following Colorado's current rules. Secondly, mandatory health messaging. Every ad should include clear warning about the potential side effect, just as the alcohol and tobacco do. And thirdly, responsible brand storytelling, that it should focus on product safety and lab testing rather than just the high. Finally, advertising should link directly to corporate social responsibility. Dispensaries can support local charity, health initiatives, or adult-only community events, promoting education rather than consumptions. Automatically, marijuana advertising should be more careful. Its goal is not only encourage use, but to ensure safety, accountability, and informed choice, helping the cannabis industry go responsibly while protecting the public goals. To conclude, the ethic of marijuana advertising is not just a debate about promoting a legal product. It is a test of how society balances profit, responsibility, and the public well-being. From this case, we saw the legalizations in Colorado and Washington, creative economic opportunity, but also legal conflict and social concerns. federal laws still classified marijuana as illegal. Traditional advertising channels remains restricted, and public opinion is divided. As a result, marijuana companies have turned to alternative strategies like social media, sponsorship, and brandings to reach the consumers. However, legalities alone does not determine moralities. Therefore, ethical marijuana advertising is not about completely supporting or banning it. It is about how it is done. Legally, responsibly, and with respect of public health. In the end, a true ethical approach allows business growth while still protecting society, especially the young and the vulnerable. Only by achieving this balance can marijuana advertising be considered not just illegal but ethical. Thank you for listening.